tissue that's going to be the back, the tissue that is going to be in front, the ball in the front that was there already before I nested, and the ball in the back that is now appearing, that is going to become the ammonia sac. And around these two balls of water and these two sheets of meat, the front and the back, is the whole room. The whole room is the trophoblast, or tropho means eating, the landscape of meat that goes towards the endometrium and eats, and it's enormous compared to me. I'm just this side. The outside of me is the whole room. Can you see the scale? And this is the whole week that this creature stays, and the other one goes widening, widening, and widening. And she eats this outer sphere, starts eating the membranes of it, for instance, of the glands. The glands that the mother has inside the endometrium. She eats the outside bag, so the chemicals, the particles, the feeding, nurturing things move into the gelatinous thing she's creating. She eats the tubes of the capillaries, where the blood goes. So the blood goes. And it forms pools of blood in the roofs. Do you see the scale? She's forming pools, but really like large lakes of moving blood. To nurture this little me that is here thinking about loving and the other thing that I have that I could say, oh, it's becoming Sofia. It's this thing that here I have something that will become the mouth. It's called the prechordal plate. We don't have to know, but it's like pre. It's pre, it's before. It's before it opens, it will take another 2 weeks. So it's just like something dense, which also is nice because it's 2 leaves, the front and the back. Between the balloons, and you know that if here appear this precord or whatever, you know that somewhere in the back, in the other position, will come the tail, the anus. But it will take a long time. But because it's about the polarities, the pom 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 back, pom up down, the pom pom. Okay, you're here. Okay, so she's going to be there. Okay, I know where you're going to be. But there's something that I would like us to feel, if you can, that it's not. I was playing with Bruno at lunch and said, "Can you accompany this?" And he said, "No, this is too confusing." I said, "Are you still with me in the story, but totally lost?" You're totally lost? Just really quick. There's a music, a popular Portuguese music that says dancing is having one foot up and the other on the floor, keeping down. One foot up and the other down. Like, are you totally lost? No. Not because of the middle tissue. Remember that perhaps you don't even remember because you were not here the first day, but you were. Anyway, remember we brought this thing that the creature, Leonor embryo, has a way of being that is centripetal, coming from the outside. And that Leonor the adult is centrifugal, coming from the in outside. And that we have to balance, otherwise we just lose our innerness, or otherwise we just lose the possibility of communicating outwards. But the embryo gets its nurturing out of the outside. The trophoblast is stable. That is generating the lakes of blood and eating the glands. It's there, and the shaping body that doesn't eat or it doesn't take care of anything, it just dances. And in the second week, the dance of this shaping creature is very still. 7 days, very slowly. It almost doesn't grow, but the outside becoming the one that is going to become the placenta grows like hell. So you have a balloon in the front of Sofia. You said that already. Balloon in the back. The future embryo, the future yourself. But it's a sphere, a balloon. And I'm kind of pressed in between the waters in the middle. And there is these membranes, these creatures feeding, breathing, shitting, taking care of the immune system of this thing. The first time this in between jelly tissue appears is in between the two balloons and these eating fingers, and that is called the chorionic bladder, but I don't want to bring the technique. The first time this gelatinous thing happens is in between, as of course we can imagine that if there's a personality, an activity of two spheres pressing this bilaminate disc, and then there's these creatures moving out. These cells in the periphery are much more quick, getting more and more cells. More and more. And these balls that are more working in the inside the sphere, they do not divide so. And you see, still she is not inside the uterus, and yet there's already a difference. She's moving. The bilaminate disc finishes here. It's one layer and another layer. And the place of this is very important for the heart. The place of connection between this tissue around the two spheres and the discs and the outside gelatinous things that moves into the mother is placed beyond the mouth. This is the mouth. It's the becoming heart, of course. Outside the layers of the future body of Leona. Outside, it's really in a there still, a there. And you can imagine, if this is inside the endometrium, why does the heart form? The heart is not a pump. This is a totally stupid idea. It's not. It's even so stupid that, as we can imagine, that when they put the pacemakers into someone that needs it, if the flow of the blood stops, there's no pacemaker that reopens the life of this person. There's no pump that can reopen. It's not a pump. It's enhancing the flow of the blood itself, because it always starts with the flow. And then after the flow comes the specialized creature that in this case is the heart. And there's a stillness. I always look at you when I say the stillness, the inversion point that is called that. Because it's really so. The blood that this creature outside gets from these lagoons, these lakes of blood of the mother, come into becoming capillaries into this meeting point of the future head of the embryo, stop, and create other capillaries to go back into the mother. And this thing of stop and go, coming, stop and go. Two balloons, one balloon, the other balloon, in between this bilaminar disc, and outside the thing, eating the blood and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing outwards, outwards. And in between this and this, a gelatinous thing starts appearing in the sphere. What happens is that this density here generates a space inside. So it kind of stays around the two spheres. This is spherical, huh? It's not being damaged. It kind of stays around the spheres. Let's imagine that let's imagine that here is where the future mouth appeared. So in the layer that is facing this wall, okay? That's it. So I know that this thing that was covering all the space between here and there starts getting holes inside. So what you see is that she gets open space in between. So there's no empty spaces in the embryo. They are all fluid creatures. What happens is that this thing that used to occupy or inhabit the whole space between the here and the there now gets the space, the hole, the back. Okay? But keeps a connection. This is going to be the umbilical cord. But yet, as you can see, if this is the becoming mouth here, and you will come, if this is the becoming mouth, so the place of connection between the thing that surrounds these two spheres and the outer sphere is beyond the head. Because this is the mouth. Can you see?